What's up, guys? It's Bad Dog. So sometimes I'll come on here and I'll make a video and people will think I'm just hating on them or hating on their team or I'm jealous or I'm salty or whatever. So when I came on here last week and said that the Dallas Cowboys gave up way too much for Amari Cooper, there were some Cowboy fans that agreed with me, but there were certainly some that disagreed with me vehemently, said, I don't want to hear no Giants fans' opinion. Your opinion don't mean anything, and that's fine. As a Giants fan, I can't really speak much about how good or bad my team is because we know my team is poor, but as a football fan, looking at it from a perspective, a football fan perspective, I knew they gave up way too much. I've also heard people say in the past, oh, you get everything you hear, you just regurgitate what you hear from ESPN and NFL Network. When I said that Amari Cooper, the reason it was a bad trade for the Dallas Cowboys was because Amari Cooper was not the piece they needed to go to the Super Bowl. They are not a Super Bowl contender with a superstar or inconsistent superstar wide receiver. They're definitely not. And I read an article in the New York Post today that said the same exact thing. So if anything, they're getting their information from Bad Dog because I usually say something and then 2 or 3 days later, I see it as an article in the Post or online or whatever. It just kind of cracks me up. Fact of the matter is, the Dallas Cowboys gave up a first-round pick, which looks like it's going to be a top 15 pick this year for Amari Cooper. They're going to have his services for a year and a half. And then do they sign him to a massive contract, which he's going to earn from one team or another, whether that be the Dallas Cowboys or somebody else. Like I said, he's probably going to get about $17 million a year. He's probably going to have about 70% of that guaranteed. If the Dallas Cowboys plan on re-signing him, they didn't need to give up a first-round pick for him. They could have used that pick to build their team. Therefore, then they could have signed him as a free agent after the 2019 season, and then maybe Amari Cooper would have made the difference. But your problem is Dak Prescott. Your problem is Jason Garrett. Your problem is not your wide receivers. All these guys were getting mad about Dez Bryant, Dez this, Dez that, but the fact of the matter is you won with Dez there, and you didn't need and this was at the end of his career, mind you, and you didn't need him there. As I said, if I was a Dallas Cowboys head coach, the Dallas Cowboys would be Super Bowl contenders because I'm not stupid. I mean, I see the writing on the wall. I know what you need to do. When I watched that game last night, I watched the Titans beat them down 28-14. I really felt like I was watching the Giants' offense as far as the Cowboys were concerned. I believe the Titans had 4 sacks in Dak Prescott, including one time they had a 3-man rush and they got Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott throwing an interception in the end zone from about the 10-yard line. These are things that the New York Giants do on a consistent basis, which is play losing football. It's really not that hard to figure this out. That your problem is not a wide receiver. Your problem is that head coach. You need to be handing the ball off to Ezekiel Elliott 25 to 30 times a game and letting that big offensive line and that massive back wear down the defense as much like they did in 2016, so that their defense was fresh in the fourth quarter. The opponent's defense was wasted in the fourth quarter, and that's when Ezekiel Elliott would get all those chunk plays, and Dallas was able to control the clock and put the game away. For whatever reason, they've gotten incredibly pass-happy with their quarterback, and all Amari Cooper does is make them even more pass-happy because now you got to try to get him the ball. It didn't make any sense in that perspective. The Dallas Cowboys need to be a run-first, pass-second team. That's what they did successfully in 2016. It doesn't make any sense for them to change the way they play, and why all of a sudden this is what they do is beyond me. But again, all Amari Cooper does is make them want to pass more, which is your weakness. Just like when I talk about the Giants, I constantly say run Barkley more, run Barkley more. Why would you want to put the ball in the hands of an aging Eli Manning who can't get out of his own way rather than put the ball in your best hands, which is Saquon Barkley? I watch Dallas Cowboys, I think the same thing. What the hell do you keep putting the ball in Dak Prescott's hands for? Just hand the ball off to Ezekiel Elliott, who's your best player. So it was not a good trade in all of those aspects. People can say I'm hating, people can say I'm doing whatever. I don't really care what you think. It's just my opinion. You can think one way about it, you can think another way about it. But you're 3-5. And you were a mediocre team before Amari Cooper. You're going to be a mediocre team after Amari Cooper. And all you did is give up a first-round pick. And you basically are the same exact team you were before you got him. He is not the piece. You look at what the other contenders did. You look at the Houston Texans giving up a 4th-round pick for Demaryius Thomas. They're 6-3. They are a Super Bowl contender, okay? They are a very good team. They have a good chance of winning the AFC South. A very good chance. So they go in there, they get him. The only reason they even made that move is because Will Fuller had a torn ACL and they had to replace him. You look at what the Eagles gave up for Golden Tate. No, he's not as young as Amari Cooper, but he's every bit as good as Amari Cooper, and they only had to give up a 3rd-round pick. But they did address, a situation that they were weak at. And the fact of the matter is they are defending Super Bowl champions. So they are a contender again this year, whereas Dallas has been far from a Super Bowl contender ever since Dak Prescott got there, really ever since Jason Garrett got there. Maybe that game in Green Bay, Dez actually caught that ball. They go to the NFC Championship game. Who knows? They got hosed on that call. But other than that, they haven't won any playoff games since Jason Garrett's been there. They're 3-5, and they look like a 3-5 team last night. And again, Amari Cooper does not help your situation, does not help your weakness, which once again is your quarterback and your head coach. Those two people should have been replaced. Dallas should have kept their first-round pick, and then if they were interested in Amari Cooper, signed him after the 2019 season when he became an unrestricted free agent. That's what they should have done if they wanted Amari Cooper. I don't know if they were scared that the Eagles were going to go and grab Amari Cooper. They heard that the Eagles offered a second-round pick, and maybe this is the only thing that I can think. Well, of course, Jerry Jones is senile. He's a terrible owner, and I'm learning something about having a terrible owner myself with the Giants these days, because when you have a bad owner, you can't fix your team, can't fire the owner. It sucks having a bad owner. The only thing that makes any sense to me is Dallas Cowboys got wind of the Philadelphia Eagles are interested in Amari Cooper, and if they get Amari Cooper, they're going to run away with this division, and maybe they did it to block the Eagles. It's the only feasible explanation for them giving up a first-round pick, which could easily be a top 15 pick this year. They can say, well, there's no receiver in the draft that we were going to get that's going to be better than Amari Cooper. Well, Hollywood Brown may be there. He will be better than Amari Cooper, but regardless, your wide receiver is not your problem. It really isn't. And like I said, until you fix what needs to be fixed, which is your quarterback and your coach, Amari Cooper is not going to help you in the least bit. He may have put up good numbers, but at the end of the day, a loss is a loss. Don't really matter what he does. Saquon Barkley's put up amazing numbers all year for the Giants, and we've won one game. So who cares about the statistics? Wins and losses are what matters. Amari Cooper does not help them win now, does not improve that team that much in any aspect. And as I said, all it does is add to your weakness, which is having Dak Prescott throw the ball more, which is something you don't want to do. Again, just my 2 cents on that subject, but that's all I got to say about it. So it's bad dog, and I'm out. Peace!